Well, here I am once again. Just got in from our gig last night with Phil Collins in Minneapolis, and I logged into Facebook just on a chance that I might have reached my 30-day suspension. And lo and behold, I was able to get back on. So I'm back again. It means that out of the past 150 days, Facebook has blocked me 130 of those for things that they don't explain, and you have no recourse in action to challenge or understand. They just give you a little notice that says you've gone against our community standards and not to do it again, but they don't tell you what it was that you did against their community standards. I flipped through there and I saw videos of mother pigs being beaten to death with sledgehammers. I guess that's cool. I've seen some Nazi rallies. That's fine. I've seen a government that does nothing but spew lies and bullshit. I guess that's okay. So I'm still in a quandary as to what standards I am constantly being accused of going against. First and foremost, I once again have to apologize to all the people whose birthdays I missed during the course of this last 30-day suspension. It really breaks my heart because it's one of my favorite things is sending out birthday wishes on a daily basis to people. So I'll start it up again today, and hopefully I'll last more than last time. They gave me 5 days between suspensions and then threw me off again. So I'll jam in as much as I possibly can. These are such profoundly critical times that we're living in. The kind of the horror of watching the news every day and reading the news. I try to stay abreast of everything that's going on, and it's just shocking and horrifying. And I think it's absolutely imperative that we all get out and vote this November and try to turn this kind of travesty that's taking place around. And I think before those silly hats came out that said "Make America Great Again," America was great. Now I think that logo is important. We have to make America great again because America has been destroyed during this past 2 years. I've been traveling the world, and our place in the world has become this kind of a mockery of what we once were. And it's for people that don't travel at all and just listen to Fox News and all that and drink the Kool-Aid. You might think that everything's fine, but boy, it is not fine. But more than anything, also understand that when you get blocked on Facebook, that includes being blocked on Messenger. So I had tons of people writing to me on Messenger and then getting kind of pissed off that I wasn't responding to their questions about the Phil Collins tour, about all this other stuff that's going on. And I cannot respond. I can see what you've written, but it is impossible for me to post a response. So don't get pissed at me. Get pissed at Facebook for creating these rules. I would like to share as much as I possibly can, and I don't ask for agreement with me. I don't think I'm the know-all of anything. I'm just an individual person that has my own feelings and my own opinions, and I like to express them on my page. But when I get these people coming into my page and filing grievances against me and giving me death threats and telling me to go fuck myself and just play bass and shut my mouth, this isn't really what communication is all about. I really hope very much that we could have dialogues. If you go out and vote and you want to go out and vote Republican, that's your privilege as an American. I'm hoping that there will be this so-called blue wave that will overtake this. I would love to see the House and the Senate turn so that the pressure could be put on T, I would never say his name, to have to expose his taxes, all his monetary connections, all the grift and corruption that's taking place within this thing. Who nominated Jared Kushner, and suddenly he's in the Middle East covering up for the Saudis over this grotesque, monstrous act of destroying a human being. And the president, since he's got such a vested interest with the Saudis in $50 million condos that they've bought from him and all this, he's not going to do anything. He's just going to play a little charade until this blows over, and then there'll be another thing. It's so disgusting. It just makes me sick. And my only sanctuary is that I'm out right now on an incredibly great tour. Phil Collins is really back in form, regardless of if he can stand during his show or not. I mean, surgeries and stuff, there's nothing you can do about that. And but he's actually more mobile than he's been in the past couple of years. Singing great, the band's unbelievable, the crowds have been fantastic. Some of the best crowds we've ever played for on this tour. And we're thrilled. We're in our last week of the tour. We're playing Chicago tonight, and then we're off to Oakland, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles, and then we're done until January, where we head to Australia and New Zealand. And then it looks like summertime we will be in Europe. So everything's great, and I'm still busy with Judith Owen, and we're working on a new record, and I'm still busy with the immediate family, with Danny Korchmar, Russ Kunkel, Waddy Wachtel, and Steve Postel, and we're working on a new album and setting up a tour for Japan, and we will be at the Iridium in New York City at the end of November for 3 nights. If you can, come down and enjoy a bunch of old farts having a great time. And then lots of other little goodies going on. And then that's the stuff I like to share. I'm excited about going to the Grammy Museum on November 8th, I believe it is, and doing an evening of my ranting and whatever questions they have. I'm looking at it as a Q&A evening more than anything. I really love when people ask questions and are curious about things, and I'm happy to share anything. We'll do a little playing and stuff. But just more than anything, I just wanted to say I'm back. I have no idea how long I'm going to be back for, because it seems to average 3 to 7 days between getting back from a 30-day suspension and being thrown off again. I have no idea who is doing this. Now, the one thing I'm changing for now, just as a test, I've always left my page as a public forum page. So I've left everything public. So because people keep saying, man, one of your friends. Well, it's not one of my friends who's causing all this trouble as far as I know. It could be somebody anywhere. But what I've done is I've changed my setting to friends. Now, if this happens again, this means there's somebody in the friends grouping that is causing this trouble. And if that's the case, I may purge my entire collection of people. I mean, I've got close to about 80,000 people following on my page, and I maxed out at the 5,000 immediate friends the first 10 days I was on Facebook. So I may have to go through and really do a massive purge, or just leave Facebook altogether and start some other format for doing this. I love the dialogue. I love talking to you guys. I love the questions people send me. I love sharing my thoughts. I love hearing your thoughts. There's so many times where I just sit back and I read and I have no comment whatsoever. It's just great to hear and see how other people think about this world. This is ultimate. Right now, it's also imperative that the millennial generation be encouraged to go out and vote. Because I'm kind of at the tail end of my life. I'm up there now. You have an entire life ahead of you, and decisions that are being made now can affect your entire future. With Kavanaugh and all this stuff going on, this is long term. So if you're willing to stand in front of an Apple store in the rain for 3 days to get the latest iPhone, you should be at least able to send in an absentee ballot and vote. This is so critical, and this is one of the greatest gifts that this country's given us. And the apathy is being exploited by the lunatic fringe, because they can mobilize these crazies to get out there and do anything, and all this nonsense about voter fraud. They've proven almost zero voter fraud during all the investigations into it. That's just a point that gets thrown out there just to get the rallies of those people wound up, just like immigrants. I mean, if you're going to sit here and really be honest about immigrants, other than the absolute original genetic people who walked this land, that came over like the peninsulas from Siberia, or came, in different ways, that found their way to America, but were the original indigenous people in the United States before it was the United States. If you are not a part of them, you're an immigrant. I'm an immigrant family. My grandparents came from Russia and from Poland. My parents were born here, but we are the product of immigration. Almost every single person I know in this world is an immigrant of some kind. So this kind of demeaning and degradation of what it means to be an immigrant, and this scumbag T out there saying that Mexico sends nothing but rapists and murderers and stuff, and all they want is your jobs. This is just a lie that's being perpetrated for a small group of people that will get out and vote. And they can't be allowed, if they're allowed to dictate the future of America, America is dead. The shining light on the mountain that America was is a smoldering lump of coal at the bottom of an abyss if that happens. So I'm happy to be back. I'm going to do all I can to temper things. Doesn't mean I've lost my balls over this stuff. I'm going to try to temper it as long as I can, certainly through the election, and stay focused on this, because I think it's the most critical thing in our time right now. We're going to go out tonight in Chicago, and we are going to kick some butt and have a great time. It was great last night when we played in Minneapolis. The gang from Fleetwood Mac were out there, and they had a ball. And the night before, I had Sammy Hagar and Jason Bonham and all these guys showing up at our gigs, and all just going, yeah, it's a great show. I'm so proud of Phil Collins, I can't tell you. I mean, he is really rallied around and is having the time of his life, and the band is having a great time. So this is very exciting. I'm going to sign off and send out my birthday wishes for today and start my new ones. And my apologies again to all of you whose birthdays I missed. You were in my heart. I could see when it was your birthday. A few of you I had personal emails for, and I sent off my messages to you on a personal basis. But it's just so frustrating to be subject to rules that you aren't told what the rules are. They just call it community standards. Yet I see some of the most absolutely horrible, horrific things on Facebook, and none of that goes against their community standards. And I've had friends take what theoretically I was thrown off for and post it on their pages, and nobody's ever been thrown off. So I don't know, for some reason, I have one big ass target on my back, and I'm willing to put up with it. I will not go down without a fight on this. And if it ultimately requires me creating a blog page of my own, you would all be invited to that, and we could share dialogues and experiences there. But the world's not all about politics. Right now, it feels that way because it's such a toxic environment that we're living in politically. But there's so much incredible science and art and music and dance and nature to be embraced. I mean, we live on a very special, unique little orb in this vast universe. Now, personally, I think there's got to be a lot more like us out there somewhere, but we're talking massive distances and stuff. So the odds of them just dropping by for a cup of tea is kind of obscure. But if we are the only one out here, then somebody explained to me why we're basically crapping in our own bed. I mean, when I see these climate deniers out there while the polar ice caps are disappearing, and there's pictures of polar bears dying on little ice floes because there's no food for them, the Great Barrier Reef dying. I mean, there's so much in this world going south, and scientifically it's really easy to follow it all through, yet we have people sitting in positions of power saying that it hasn't been proven yet. I don't think so. Well, I don't know what it's going to take to prove it, but we're really reaching that point, like when you're taking off in an airplane and you've reached that point of no return where you have to take off. You can't stop or you're going to crash at the end of the runway. Our planet's kind of in that same place right now. I mean, we're really on a countdown clock right now to being able to do anything about this. And as long as there's these one percenters out there that are just see everything as money, even though, of course, all the money in the world isn't going to be worth anything if there's no world to spend it on, and it's in total anarchy and chaos because it's been destroyed. I don't understand the reasoning in that, but I don't understand the reasoning in a whole lot of shit that's going on. But I dig all you out there. I miss you. I'm glad to be back for however long I can be back. But right now, get out and vote. And my personal thing is vote blue. I've got my blue on. I think it's imperative that we turn this government around. This has really been a test of some kind of a different ideology, but the test came in with an F minus on it because it is a chaotic bunch of gangsters running things right now who are only in it for self-serving. They look at America as a giant cookie jar, and their fists are all in it, grabbing all they can before they go down with it. So be thoughtful, study up on your candidates, and don't be swayed by just pure passion. Really kind of understand what you're dealing with here, and let's hope that when this is over, we see a light again at the end of the tunnel, and it's not just a big train coming at us to run us down. So, love you all, and you take good care. And I'm not going to close with a finger because everybody expects that. Let's just get on with this. I'm not a fake Lee. I'm actually the real Lee, but I'm just going to give you a thumbs up right now.